Sorry.
Mid-energy drink. Welcome to this episode of Real Estate Confidential. This is episode 4, and we are sitting here with my former clients, Selena and Dre. Hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah, there's a microphone. Yeah. Thanks for coming and doing this again, because I know that the last setup was complete garbage, and we didn't even capture half of it, but that's fine.
Yeah, we had fun.
We did have fun. So we're going to talk a little bit about your home buying experience as it was in history and how you feel about it now. So I met you guys at an open house.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell the audience what that experience was like. Hold nothing back.
Yeah, so we were kind of just shits and giggles going around. We do the same thing with cars. And we had an open house pretty close to where we were living in Natomas. And we were just like, hey, let's go. Why not? We had nothing else to do. And we were actually kind of working with a real estate agent at that time. She wasn't very serious. She was a nice lady, just not committed. Either were we, so I kind of get it. And then we met you. And it was at a condo. And we were, looking at the condo. We were like, I don't really like this place.
Yeah.
But
it was a weird condo. It had, that loft thing
it was just,
upstairs.
a waste of space, you know?
Yeah. It was trying, but just no cigar.
Yeah. It was, it had potential, but, yeah, not the spot. And so I remember we were just, talking. And then you were in the kitchen. And you were just asking me all these questions. Like, how can I get you in this place? And I was like, nah. I don't want this place. And then you're asking us about, do we have somebody? And we're kind of like, I guess we're at a state that we just didn't know what we wanted either. Or, didn't understand the process. So, yeah, we were just car shopping in reality.
Yeah, I think you came in towards the end, if I remember correctly. And I, was packing up to leave. And I followed you. Remember, you had to go out to your car, and it looked like I was hella following you, even though I wasn't. I was just picking up my signs.
I just wanted to know what the gym looked like, and then you were, starting a conversation on that, oh, what's your number?
Oh, yeah,
And I was like, I just want to know the gym, okay? Because, that's a make it or break it. Even though
now
the
you've built your own gym at your house.
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah, because the one that is at our complex sucks. And now I could just, roll out of bed, go downstairs. And,
at 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Like a normal person?
Yeah. But I'm in my own underwear.
It's not normal, Selena. It's not.
It works for me.
Yeah, okay. You're one of those, morning people. I don't know.
No, it's just, I have to. For where I chose to be, I have a commute now, which I don't mind it because I enjoy the area. So it's just sacrifices I have to do to maintain myself for the military. So.
Yeah. And you're in a good area. I mean, Roseville is pretty pretty polished.
Oh, yeah. It's polar opposite from what I'm used to and where I've come from. And so a little bit of a minority, but it's nice because, I'll be running in the mornings and people are happy on the trails, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get attacked by anybody. This is nice. Maybe I might see, a little wildlife, but that's about it.
A little bit of wildlife.
Yeah.
Did you know there's a mountain lion?
Yeah.
There's a mountain lion loose in Roseville.
A little scared about that because I do run in the mornings, on those, reserve trails.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big cat, right? They're kind of chill-ish. As long as you don't poke them, it's like a rattlesnake. You just don't step on it. I don't know. It could kill you, but leave it alone.
Yeah,
is the golden rule.
I guess so. I mean, I see turkeys, and I'm kind of afraid of turkeys from prior experiences. So,
turkeys are mean. So are geese.
Yes.
Canadian geese, they'll chase you and they'll fucking bite you.
Canadian geese will. Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They hiss and they're very aggressive.
Interesting.
Yeah. A bird with opinions, but.
I don't know.
So.
R.I.P. Gerald.
Dre, the stoic in the room, which nobody can see you.
Nothing has changed.
What do you think about the condo so far?
I mean, so far I think it's good. I mean, I really like the area. I feel very safe compared to our past places where we lived.
That's fair.
I realize there's a lot of older people in our complex, which, I mean, isn't bad, but I'm just like, oh, okay, I gotta respect my elderly.
But it's so funny, though, because, she had her car in the shop, and, they're so observant because they have nothing else to do, and they're super nice. And they're like, what happened to your car? Did you get a new car? You know what I mean? Which is cool, because, hey, if there's something wrong.
Oh, they're looking out.
Yeah, we had packages delivered one time, and, the lady across was like, "Hey, you have like 5 big packages down here, like on our Ring camera."
The one who's like below you and across.
Mhm.
Yeah, she talked to me like 3 times throughout the process.
yeah.
Anytime I was going up the stairs, she
Yeah.
was poking through the window. I'm like, dang, I wish I had that kind of free time.
Oh, I mean, and there's a few of them. So like, if we ever catch them, like, super nice. We get a little stuck, but like, we know all the tea. We know what's going on, who lives where, how long people have been there, which is cool because like they
Yeah.
do watch out for you and like they don't bother you.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I've noticed that in Roseville in general. It's not just the condo. Everybody's a little bit nosy Nancy, and
Yeah.
it's like
It's
that.
the culture.
My folks' neighborhood, my neighborhood in Old Town, like everybody's just kind of unofficial neighborhood watch.
Oh my God, have you seen the Facebook page?
I try to stay off of
Prime?
next door because it is an octagon in there.
It is
like
hilarious. It'd be
the
like,
Karens
I
and
saw a crash on this street. What happened? And you have like 20 people answering within
I know
minutes. Like
it's
it
news
is-
10 at night, but all the
Yes.
time.
Oh my God, you can find out anything.
Anything you want.
Yes, and it's hilarious.
Somebody keeps inviting me to join the next door app, and I'm like, nope, not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
It's a cult.
It is a cult, and you see everything. And like I got on it because real estate, but
Have to.
it's insane things that people post
Oh yeah,
on the internet.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
So, what would you advise other people if they were first-time home buyers looking for a real estate agent?
Yeah.
What would be some like boxes that need to get checked, especially with what's going on with NAR and like going forward, you have to sign an agreement with a realtor to see a house. You can go to an open house still, but like you have to marry people now. So you can still break those contracts.
Okay.
You can cancel them, but it's like a breakup. It's super uncomfortable. It'll be like, hey, Joe Blow, we know you spent like loads of time with us, but like we don't want to work with you anymore. So what would be your check boxes for people who were listening to this and needed to know like?
Yeah. You want to say something first?
When we first met you, I could tell that you were very eager to like help us. Not only just like, buy a house, but like eager to help us learn about the whole process.
Yeah.
You seemed like you were very knowledgeable and just wanted, to help. And then once you helped us, I mean, we learned a lot from you.
Yeah,
good.
just kind of to go off that. I mean, I guess we felt kind of more safe. The other approach from the other individual was just like, what do you want? What's your price? What area? Kind of thing. And that was about it. Like, there was not like a lot of personable exchange, where to you were like actually invested in, okay, not just what do you want, but like reality. What's going to be best to place you somewhere? So it was different because it was like there was that personal aspect, right? So then it was normal, like, hey, Ash, I have a question at 10 o'clock at night. I'm freaking out. We have a super crazy timeline. We had to move. And you're like, yeah, dude, here,
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that safe, comforting feeling that we knew you had our back, you had our best interests, and you were like willing to go out of the box. Like, like we weren't even looking at Roseville at first. And with our price range, our time restraint, all that, you're just like, no, like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were
Well, I love that you guys had the VA loan and how we were able to find that guy he was also in a VA situation. And that happens a lot actually, where VA buyers take over VA sellers. So I will say that there was an element of luck to it, but I am glad that it worked out because it's hard to tell people like if they've been looking at an area for so long, like, hey, have you thought about this next city over? Which that was 30 minutes different from where you guys were looking. So.
Oh, I'm so grateful we did.
Yeah.
Would have been a different world.
I mean, you guys were so cool. Like obviously we maintained a friendship and like we're doing this now, but the grace that you had to like listen and take it into consideration, I think was huge. Cause not everything I presented to you was right. Not everything I presented to you was like exactly what you needed or wanted, but you told me, you're like, hey, no, we're not really vibing this. Hey, no, we kind of want to look at this. And just being able to have that open communication for me was really helpful because it's like that situation, like help me help you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that a lot.
That makes
'Cause I don't like guessing.
Well, that was like the difference too with like our other person. Like there was no approach. You know what I mean? It was just so cold that you brought like a warmth to us where we can be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just felt comfortable. And I mean, then we kind of started getting to know each other on a personal level as we were searching, which that's where you were really able to come in and actually understand our needs and like really what would be best for us. And I mean, there was so many times where we were like, I don't know what the heck is going on, you know, but you didn't make us feel like uncomfortable asking you questions
That's good.
nonstop, you
That's
know.
good.
So it was helpful, but also scary, and you calmed us when we were freaking out constantly.
Well, I loved it too because like I deal with a lot of first time home buyers, and there's a lot of questions that people feel are stupid questions or I'm not going to ask this. And the thing is, and I tell them the same thing. I do this for a living. I do it all the time. Yeah. And you guys might do it every 3 to 5 years. So part of this whole thing is trying to get people comfortable with asking those questions, because I see far too often people getting taken advantage of, or people getting into situations that had they had their own agency within their agency to be like, hey dude, just wondering, like, what are you doing, or what aren't you doing, or is this really the best way? And if your agent can't explain that to you, or you don't feel confident or comfortable with how they're explaining it, be like, hey, I get how you feel about something, but show me the numbers. Or if they're just showing you numbers and you want to know how they feel about it, like just being able to have that open communication. So that's kind of the whole goal with this.
Yeah, I don't shut up, so.
No, it's great. I love it. And you were always apologizing. You were like, I'm super sorry if this is a weird question. Blah, 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 blah. At like 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, no, please ask me.
Well, I felt like we like held you captive for like a month straight because it was like.
Well, also we were on a timeline. We were on a timeline. Like
that
shit
crunch,
had to get done. So
that crunch was rough.
Yeah.
Then,
we got down to like a week, I think.
Oh man.
Or days.
Yeah, we had to be out of our place the 25th, and we got the keys the 23rd.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's 2 days.
Like we were shitting bricks.
Yeah.
I mean, we like were at that point, we had an apartment already like down paid and everything ready just in case it just fell through.
Yeah.
So like we had a blanket, but we were so committed at that point, we were just like, fuck it, we're going for it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think what played a big role in it was like your motivational energy. Like you're like, let's go, I got this. Like you had so much confidence in yourself that like it just motivated us to be like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where it was like, this is a team effort, and if we don't do it together, or if it's like one side is losing less than the other or whatever, like it wasn't gonna happen, you know. So it was definitely a team effort and a lot of anxiety.
I mean, I'm like hindsight now, looking back, I knew it was a good thing for you guys. I mean, I wouldn't push anybody into something that they weren't like ready for, but that college that's going in down the street, like my little piggy brain is thinking just, you are never going to have a problem renting that place. No. Like you will rent that. You'll never be empty.
Yeah. This is just like our first step.
I think you can walk from the college from your condo. So yeah, it's like down that street. So you know how you turn right on that street and you just go down and it's like a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. At the end of that road, it dead ends into Placer Ranch. And that's where the college is going to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You guys like accidentally bought a condo in what's about to be like a college town.
Oh, I'm good with it.
Yeah. So I'm like
it's
super
not gonna
pumped.
Bother me.
No, I'm like super jelly, super pumped. I wish I had done that, but you know, here we are. So what was the scariest part of the transaction? Was it the closing day? Where were you sweating the most? Like, what was the scary thing?
I was sweating the most because I was flying all over the country at the time, and I was I don't know what's going on at home, but I gotta go. Yeah. And most of the time, I was, signing paperwork on my phone.
In between
on
flights.
Your phone in the airport. Yeah. That's like what the top 2% do. They do deals over text message, and they're like on a plane. They're like, yeah, just sign it.
Yeah. So. There's a lot of trust in that, huh?
There was. I was like, I don't know what I'm signing for, but here's my signature.
Signing your life
away. All the time. No, like literally, you'd send us things constantly because of our timeline, and I'm like, Ash, what is this? Like, Ember, like, just give me like the short little sweet. What is this? All right, go. We were like so just.
Footnote.
I mean, we put a lot of trust in you for sure. Like, there's sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm signing my whole life away right now, and I don't know what I'm doing, So, I think the biggest thing was just like the commitment to know, like, hey, this is real now. It's like, yeah, you get married, okay, that's real, but like now committing something where, oh my God, like that's a lot of money. You know what I mean?
It's the biggest thing you've bought so far.
And I've never experienced that before. I bought a car. Okay, cool. But that's this, this is huge. And so the amount of paperwork and like the process, and I'm like, oh my God, are we doing it right? Like, are we overcommitting? Like, is this gonna work? And then of course, just like everybody was like, this is a bad time to buy. This is a bad time to buy. So it was so easy to like hear the outside noise, So on top of like already being scared and not knowing what's going on, it was just a lot of pressure outside. And your family wasn't really a big fan too.
Yeah, what stressed me out the most was like her parents were like willing to help us and like, if you want to do this, we support you. Whereas my parents were like, no, you shouldn't do this. So it's like, getting opposite opinions. And so it kind of stressed me out.
Yeah, it put some stress on us because, like, of course, like, I listen to my family, she listens to her family, and there's always going to be, as much as it's like, yes, I'm an adult, you still have that motivation, or not necessarily that little from your family, right? So it's like, it caused us to be like, are we doing the right thing? Are we shooting like the gun too quick here? Or, I guess too, just with uncertainty with like her job, and I was moving locations, and I mean, my job in general is always uncertainty, like.
Yeah, you could be stationed somewhere else, so.
Or, we just go to war, bye.
Or that, yeah. Which,
Like,
that's a totally different animal. Let me know.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, parents. So talking about parents, and again, first-time homebuyer situations or young people buying their house, we have this joke in real estate that nothing kills a deal quicker than the dad looking at the home inspection. And it's frustrating to me because I think that older generations forget what they had to endure in their first property. It's like you forget those weekend trips, those constant weekend trips to the hardware store or those home repair projects, because either you're at a place in your life where you can buy a turnkey home, or you're at a place in your life where you have enough money to outsource those honey-do fix-it projects. And so, I mean, for you guys, you had a condo, and that thing was pretty darn near turnkey. Other than cosmetics, there was nothing wrong with the condo.
Yeah.
But that's a joke that we have in this industry, is that nothing kills a deal faster than the dad. Or in general, the parent. And it's not to say that a parent's opinion isn't important, because looking at real estate over time is absolutely important. And the opinions of elders who have seen crashes, who have seen good times to buy, bad times to buy, 2008, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have value, but it is also all a matter of perspective. So, I mean, you guys bought at a time, the interest rate sucked, but you have a VA, which is huge. And you just have a massive advantage in that regard. And now, what are we, like a year later now?
Yeah,
a year later, year and some change. I mean, it would suck to do it now. And now we know, and this was kind of a crystal ball moment, but now the college has been approved. And so it'll go up and down, but
always.
You guys own something, and you haven't spent the last year paying rent to somebody and making no money.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's the biggest thing. Like, it's ours, Hey, I want to paint this room. Fuck it.
Yeah. Or if you have to get stationed somewhere and you want to move away, you can rent it out.
Yeah. I mean, we have like our backup plans, and we just keep seeing it's like, hey, this is an investment, so we're having fun.
Yeah. Well, and I saw that too. I'm like, you guys you're smart enough to not get yourselves in hot water. Like, I don't think I've actually ever come across a client where I'm like, oh, I don't feel comfortable putting you into a 30-year conventional commitment because it's probably not good. But, I've known friends who have bought their dream home, and then 6 months later, the husband loses his job. Yeah. And he was bringing in $250,000 a year, and it's now gone. It's just gone. And now what?
Yeah.
You got babies and your dream house, and your husband just lost $250,000 a year. So you can't live your life to a point. You can't live your life thinking that you're safe all the time, because we really are not safe. We're in a giant jungle. So I don't know.
If happens to me, you can pay it off. She's got like $550 coming to her if I die.
Yeah. And I mean, the good thing too is like your parents care, right? That the fact that they were present and the fact that they were concerned for you. I mean, that's better than having parents that don't care, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's that difference for sure. And then I think like, because my mom understood it too, like, their first house was like in the ghetto, like, their car got stolen like 5 times in a matter of a year. Like, they were just so over it,
That's nuts, dude.
And it was just, it's your first home, And so she understood like, hey, you know, it's just a stepping stone.
Mhm.
And I mean, my mom saw like, hey, we're at a point now, like we're trying to move forward, you know, and so she was really like adamant on like, hey, I want to help you on that. Like I want to help you get to where we are, you know, and so that was like really helpful. As much as like I had to have her like drink the Kool-Aid eventually, because at first it was like, no, bad time, and my uncle flips homes, so my uncle was like, shut up, like let her do it, you know. And so I think my mom had to have that realization, but once she did, it was like, all right, let's go, you know. So, and I think that's kind of the same thing we had. Like my uncle was just like, there's never a great time, you know what I mean? It's never going to be perfect. Like you gotta go.
Yeah.
And as long as you're smart with your money and you like get it right, then you're good, you know.
And he's right. And I'm glad you had an investor in your family who was able to kind of not sugarcoat it, but also give you that confidence to just reinforce what we were trying to say. And like, I had the same exact fear. I remember that fear. I had my uncle help me buy my first home, and I didn't have job security. And I told him that. I'm like, I'm super fucking scared. Like, what happens if I lose my job? And he's like, you could lose your job.
Yeah.
And he'd just throw it back in my face. Yeah, you could lose your job.
It's reality.
Are you, what? So you're just going to curl up in a corner and like die and let someone take your home? Like what? So he reframed it. It's like you can have 1,000 reasons not to do something that's scary. But you guys are on your first big step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that awkward day when my mom came?
Oh, yeah. Tell us that story, Dre. Tell us that story.
I don't even know where we were. We were kind of in the ghetto a little bit.
Oh, but
we were still looking at houses at the time.
Yeah, we were looking. We had like a whole Saturday planned, like that morning, and it was like either we get a fixer-upper in a not so great area of Sacramento, or we go to Roseville, and that was the compromise we had to do. Right? It was either like get a smaller place in a nice area, or get something that's gonna need work in a area. And so that was bigger, but we were house shopping, and there was some places we didn't even get out of the car because we're like, nah.
You sent me that list, and I didn't want to. I'm like, you know what? They're just gonna see it.
Hey,
I can't tell
ourselves.
you. Yeah. Like legally, I can't tell you like, oh, this is a bad area. Yeah. But I saw them on the map, and I'm like, we're gonna go do this today. We're doing this.
I don't know Sacramento either, so I was like, yeah let's go.
How about that one house where that guy was like in there cooking food?
Oh yeah.
We like walked in. I was like, oh, this place is hella grimy. Nah, like I mean, it could get cleaned up, but like that mental note after seeing that, I was like, ah. And then it was like was it gates and stuff like that?
Chain link fence and stuff.
Yeah, and like the windows had the bars and all that, and I was like, nah, we ain't that much in a rush right now. I was like, bro, I'm not trying to go to the ghetto right now.
Well, and it's like, do you remember what I told you, that it's easier to change a house than it is to change a neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I know she's a chicken, so I couldn't have the peace of mind of me possibly getting deployed and leaving her in a place that I wouldn't feel comfortable.
No, she can't. You can't like live alone in places like that, but. Yeah, I mean, you look at the dream for anybody who dabbles in real estate is find the shittiest house in the nicest area, because you can turn that house into a peach, and now suddenly you've just forced equity into it. Whereas you can have the nice, and I've seen them in certain parts of town where it's this gorgeous house. Like anywhere else, this house would be in the 800,000 range, but because of where it is, it's in the 4 or 5, maybe high 5 range. And it's just because of the area that it's in. You can't force value. So.
Yeah, we're learning our lessons. I think we learned a lot of lessons, a lot of reality with you.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that it wasn't too much of a shock to the system. So.
No. You were real with us, so we were able to be real back, you know?
That's good. Yeah. And that's always tricky because, like, they teach us ethic is really important. And it's hard because they teach you not to do certain things that you'd think as a human being would be normal to do. Like, hey, like to tell you, like, hey, this is a bad area. And I can't tell you that. I have to tell you something adjacent to that. Like, hey, you can find the crime statistics on this website. So, yeah, it's tough because it's everybody's opinion, right? Like, who am I? I could say that it's a bad area and you could think it's not, or, vice versa. So, that's where things get a little gray.
I get you.
So, yeah.
That's where it's like that helps with the personal part. You know what I mean? Like the other real estate agent was just kind of like, yeah, no, or you know what I mean? Like there was not much.
They
Or
were
here's-
just business.
Yeah,
like,
here's this place, and we looked at it, and we're like, not what we want, you know. And then, whereas for you, you were like, no, I know exactly. Like these are no, we're not even looking at that. Like that's not even a fucking option. You know what I mean? Because you understood, and like you would even show us still, like, here, just see this, but no.
Yeah,
And we'd
I'll show
agree.
it. I'll show it to you. I won't not, but because you'll make up your mind. You know, it doesn't. Me being right doesn't matter, and at the end of the day, your opinion's the only one that matters. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair. It's fun. I had fun.
How are the
That's very
cats?
stressful fun.
Are the cats good? The cats think it was a good choice.
Oh, they're chilling.
Have you added cats?
More?
Yeah.
No, we had a
Okay.
dog.
I haven't met your dog yet.
No,
What's his name?
Bubba's.
Bubba's.
He was adopted, okay? He was
That
a
is-
rescue. I can't stand
Did
it.
you rename it, or was that the
We
given
have
name?
We tried so
change
hard to
his
rename
name.
him.
So he responds to Bubba's.
Yes.
That's really cute.
No.
No, we have all these
No.
weird nicknames.
His
for
name
him.
should have been Tito or Six.
What kind of dog is it?
So we think he's like an Australian Kelpie. And
What the heck is an Australian Kelpie?
Kind of like,
Kind of like a
Like a-
herding cattle.
yeah.
dog.
Okay.
So he's kind of like an Australian Shepherd as far as like that's their mannerisms. They're really they're hyper and meant to herd.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of looks like
I think he's definitely
a
mixed
lab with
a lab.
pointers.
Okay.
He has a lazy side to him, but I don't know if that's just
Oh,
because
he's
he's
a
bored.
potato.
I thought you said he has a lazy eye, and I was like, Bubba's with the lazy eye.
No, he has like very pointy ears, very defined jawline. I don't know.
He's
He
very
doesn't.
handsome.
He is handsome.
Yeah, and lazy. That's good.
And he has a nub.
He has a nub?
He has
tail.
little
Oh, his
nub.
tail. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, I thought he was also lame and he's got 3 legs or something. Like the lazy-eyed, 3-legged Bubba's. Like, he's a rescue.
No, it was funny. He was supposed to be for her as like an anxiety dog, and he is attached to me, and it's so.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's such.
When she leaves, he'll be at the door whining, and I'm like, she's gonna come back. Like, relax.
Dang.
Like,
Yeah.
and
So that
he'll sit there
backfired.
for like a half hour, and then he'll finally come over to me and sit next to me.
Yeah.
But
Like when I get home, he's all excited. When she gets home, she's like,
he's like,
"Hi," that walks away. I was
You
like,
get the dog for Dre.
I know. I was like, I didn't even want you.
You're not my mother.
No, literally. But he's fun. I'll say
Nice.
that. It's been good. I want to get him a backyard eventually.
Eventually. Yeah. What do you guys plan on doing in the future? Like, what are you plotting?
It really, I guess, just depends on where I get sent next.
Yeah.
and if you're gonna deploy or not.
Yeah, I'm in like limbo because we're kind of supposed to deploy. I can't really disclose too much.
No, it's okay,
There's in the military, you never know until it's happening. Like
Mhm.
I will know I'm deploying when I'm on a fucking like flight wherever I'm going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that has an influence on where I could be sent next. And then, I mean, I just got technically promoted. I'm about to get promoted. to the next
Congratulations.
rank. Thank you. And got a lot more responsibility at work. So it's kind of anchored me at least to my job for now for hopefully another 18 months minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good because I was kind of on like the 10-month chopping block to get sent somewhere.
Like something's gonna happen. You just don't know
Yeah.
what it is. So.
It's usually like 3 years minimum,
Okay.
minimum or average, I should say, and then it's kind of like next assignment. Well, with me getting promoted and kind of taking a bigger role in my office, it's gonna be like an anchor, so that's gonna help. So we really don't know. Like it could be either SoCal, back to the Bay, or stay in SAC. So
SoCal's wild right now.
yeah,
Like, I haven't seen home prices this cheap in Southern California in like the whole time I've been paying attention to real estate. It's nuts.
yeah,
I'm seeing houses in Long Beach in the 600s. Like, what?
yeah.
$50,000, $70,000 price
weird.
reductions. I'm like, okay, what's going on, guys?
But then
And
it's
nobody's
like-
fucking talking about it.
It's all the traffic and shit that you have to deal with. That I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it.
Well, and it's also the fire insurance issues. You know, I've got friends that are looking in high fire areas because they're in love with the idea of living
Yeah.
in the trees. And it's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're looking at $7,000 to $10,000 a year in fire insurance. That's like
That's on the
almost
light
$1,000 a month
Yeah.
in fire insurance.
Yeah. No, my aunt lives in Grass Valley, and their fire insurance is like double their mortgage.
Yep.
Like, it's insane.
Or they just get dropped, and
Yeah.
then they have to go to the California Fair Plan, which is the only option, and it's not fair. So, you know,
It's called the fair plan, but it's not fair.
yeah, it's not fair is a very vanilla word for what it is.
That's fair.
But the thing is, like, when the only option is the only option, a mortgage won't hold your loan on your house if it's not insured, because they want to make sure that
They're
if
getting their
anything,
money.
if anything happens, that they're covered. And if you can't get covered, then you can't hold your mortgage. So,
Yeah.
like,
That's what the cricket
Yeah.
button is.
yeah, I
where's
was
the cricket?
yeah, where's the
Yep.
so.
No,
But,
exactly.
Yeah, I was driving up to Nevada City like 2 weeks ago, and every road, so 49 going up there, every road off of 49, there's like 2 or 3, sometimes at the most 4 for sale signs. People
yeah.
are leaving the hill in droves right now.
Because it's like, look at what's happening up
They don't have a
north.
choice.
Like, there's fires every year. It's going to happen.
There's one right now. There's the
there's
park
like
fire.
400,000 acres. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's massive, which I'm
It's like,
surprised
oh,
we're
it's
not
2%
there.
contained. Everything's fine. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's at 25 now. So
oh,
we're-
great. That
We
makes
were
me
on standby
25.
to be there.
25.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll see after this weekend. But no, literally, like, it's when is it my year, kind of, if you live in that, you know? And that's scary. Hell no.
Yeah.
Let alone, I don't want to live in the sticks.
No.
That's not for my people.
That's not for me.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't want the calming, soothing banjo in the background
No.
and the occasional gunfire from the distance.
You know, if somebody's killing me, I would kind of want my neighbor to maybe hear,
Mm-hmm.
you know, have a little bit of help.
But that's what makes it so fun. That's the chase in the horror movie
Yeah,
is.
fuck that. Do you see where the horror movies usually doesn't have my color?
Yeah, well.
Just saying.
Hollywood's working on it.
We're
They're
the ones that
really
are like,
trying.
I'm out. Like, we're not going to go over there with that creepy guy with the chainsaw. No, I am out.
You know better. I know better. I mean, I'm not a final girl by any means. I'm the person who says, no, I'm not going
Yeah.
to your, stepdad's cabin in the woods
Yeah, no,
with
hell
the
no.
missing people every year. No, I'm not doing that. That does not sound fun for me. But you guys enjoy yourselves.
Exactly.
Send me a pin drop when you get there.
Exactly.
Why is the pin drop in the middle of the lake? Tammy, are you okay?
Nope. See, I will be off on the sidelines.
Yeah. What would you say to first-time home buyers today and going forward after August 17th having to anchor and marry real estate agents?
Yeah.
What would you tell them to do, knowing what you know?
I would say not to rush.
Yeah. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. Don't do what we did.
Don't rush. Take
Don't
your
rush.
time.
Unless you find a crackhead real estate agent like Ashley. Willing to deal with our wildness. Yeah, the rushing part is huge. I guess don't live in fear, That's huge because, everybody's scared of the unknown. And so that's huge, like we were saying earlier. And if you listen to the outside noise, there's never a great time, like I was saying earlier, you're never going to commit, right? You're going to just keep paying somebody else's mortgage or to corporate companies or whatever, right? So I guess just like picking a house, picking a real estate agent is just as important, Don't commit on that either if you can't. I don't know how the process is going to be. Can you shop around, or do you have to commit as soon as you talk to somebody?
There's going to be a lot of pressure, and it's already happening.
Yeah.
Where agents are locking their clients in. It's called the buyer broker agreement. And it's I think 1 or 2 pieces of paper that says, I'm your agent and this is how much I'm going to get paid.
Oh yeah, because you guys don't get a cut now or something like that?
No, excuse me. I did a separate video about this. We can still get paid. The thing that changed is that buyer agent compensations have been removed, not yet, but they're about to be removed from MLS. So, for example, if I went to go help you guys buy a house, I would have been able to see, they're paying me 2% to enter into this transaction. Well, now they can still do that. It could still be business as usual, but they can't disclose that. So if you guys are in love with this house and you really, really want it, and they aren't going to pay a buyer's agent commission, there's 2 ways to do it. Either you guys pay me out of pocket, which that's an uncomfortable and crappy conversation to have, but we have it up front. which for first-time home buyers is pretty much impossible to do, which is that's the
Yeah.
hill I'm dying on with this whole argument.
Yeah.
The second thing is we can ask for credits, and those credits would actually just be distinguished as my compensation. But
Okay.
what sucks about that is now we can't use those credits to buy down your interest rate. Those
Yeah.
credits don't go back to you now. They
Yeah.
go to me to cover me to help you. You know what I mean?
It's rough.
So it's gonna force transparency. We're not gonna really know what it means until we see it over time.
Of course.
But that's why I ask that question, because a lot of these agents are kind of, I mean, I can't speak to what they're doing exactly, but I have noticed a shift where people are like, well, we kind of signed with this one guy and, you know, he's been showing us stuff, and like they're not happy with their agent, but they feel locked in. And so that's why asking you as, you know, on your side of the fence, what's important. And when you say take your time, like date somebody before you marry them kind of thing.
Oh, for sure. You got to write it first.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, not like that. Okay,
Take it for a
not
test
good.
drive, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I guess, okay, so like how fast do you have to commit? Like you can have a conversation and like get to know that person first before you commit? Or like if you want to see a home, we're signing a contract.
You have to sign. So one thing you can do is you can sign just for that address
Okay.
to view that home. So if it's not being held as an open house and you're like, hey, it's Wednesday and this is the only time I have to look at it because I have to go look at this house in case we need to write an offer, you need an agent to do that for you. And at this point, we cannot open doors. Well, after August, we can't open doors without having that document in place. However, that document can just be for that address. That's one way to get around that.
I feel like you should do that then. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much of a pain it is to complete that document, but like, don't commit to somebody if you want to look at that house, get your vibe from that person. If you're like, hey, I don't like this house, but I like you, all right, let's keep going. If you're like, oh no, we don't vibe, I'm not about your style or whatever, bye.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and like, it's never, you should never look at it as, is this a pain? Because when we do get paid, we get paid really good. So we do work for free our entire lives until we get paid, but never think that something is a pain, because it's literally a piece of paper. Almost everything is digital now. And like you were experiencing, you can sign it from your phone. So just read it, you know, make sure like, okay, I'm not signing up for the whole county.
Yeah.
I'm signing up for this address and there's an expiration date on it, you know?
Yeah.
And any agent worth their weight is going to understand that. They're not going to try and pressure you. And if they try and pressure you, kind of like a salesman, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to be pressured. This isn't a pressure situation.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think that'll help like flush out who's actually there for your benefit, or like for you personally, and who's just there for their benefit, you know? So, ask a lot of questions.
Ask a lot of questions. So ask a lot of questions. Take your time.
Yeah.
Don't marry. Yeah.
Like, especially new home buyers, like we don't know. Like it's like you're speaking another language to me, right? So even when I ask you a question and then you throw out words that I'm like, Ash, what the fuck does that mean? I've said that so many times.
Can you rephrase that?
Can you dumb it down for me? Because I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and it goes into the thing, and then you move the thing over here.
Oh, there was times where I'm like, I feel like so stupid because I asked so many times. I don't know what that means. I'll like text my mom, hey, what's this mean?
I think there was also times where we were like Googling what does this word mean, or like using dictionary.com, like what is this
That's
mean?
a big thing too. Like do your own research too.
State by state though, like because Google will tell you what the law is in Tennessee or New York. It's like that does not mean it works in California.
So I mean, it's just be patient. Like that is probably the biggest thing I had to learn. Like don't fall in love the first time. Like what was that house in the pocket where I was like, oh my god, like I was like yes. And what we offered like 40 over or something like that, and then we were like, you motherfuckers, like we got still bought out like by like what 60,000 in cash over
because it was in
like,
the pocket.
Yeah,
it was a shitty house in a nice area, so that's what. Yeah.
And so like I was over here like I could run here and do this, and like I guess we were like already so invested in it, and then getting heartbroken. That's where the patience and was like it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna happen in the right place, and so I mean I'm grateful it did. I'm not a fan of Sacramento anymore, so.
I love Sacramento. It's my home city.
No.
There are parts of it that are, every city's got its parts.
So thinking about going to Sac is just like, oh, I
Aww.
That's just my own personal bias.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong with Sac. Just I have that hate, you know.
We need to go to downtown Sac more. That's the thing is like Sacramento's full of hidden gems.
Yeah,
It's
that's
full
fair.
of hidden gems, but they are hidden.
Yeah.
Because I'll take you to a place where you're like, Ashley, are we safe? I'm like, no, we're not safe. We have to go to the basement.
Yeah.
And then it opens up into this like amazing bar or this like really
Like a
cool
little
spot, so,
speakeasy or something. You're like,
Yeah.
yup.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Go down
there
the
are gems.
alley. Mhm.
Yeah.
Trust. I've learned to trust
Sacramento sucks. There's this company or brand, I don't know what they are, but they created Sacramento Hates You Too. And it's super funny because like Sacramento people, like born and raised here, we hear that all the time. And people are like, we hate Sacramento. I'm like, don't hate. Sacramento hates you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sacramento definitely hates us. Well, because they always blame everything on the Bay Area people. Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
So they're relevant.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh man, I can't argue with you. I
What
want
beam?
to be right.
Why is it a beam?
I don't fucking know.
Exactly.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
make sense.
Someone somewhere, some engineer or some architect
they
was
were
like,
cool.
yeah, like this is a new idea. And now it's the giant purple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will be nice.
Go Sacramento Kings. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys did this again. I feel like it's good that we did this a year later. So you kind of got some time in
See the bigger
saddle.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's been fun.
Thank you, Dre, for participating actively in this podcast.
Yes.
Are you guys ready to go get some beer?
Oh, what the fuck, yeah. That's the best part about living in this area. Like,
There's so much
literally
beer.
breweries are just like the casual thing to do.
Mhm.
Like, that is one thing I will say that is a different vibe from the Bay. Like, don't get me wrong, like, micros are super common over there too, but it's like, you don't necessarily, I mean, at least where I grew up, and where I grew up, breweries weren't really a thing, you know? You don't, yeah, we'll stop there. But literally, like, you can go on like a Tuesday night to a brewery and it's fucking packed. And
I
we're
know.
playing
You showed me
trivia.
Moxa.
Yeah,
Place
it's
was
like
packed.
musical
But like
bingo.
everywhere, like every place that has
Mhm.
beer on like a Tuesday or Wednesday or even Thursday is like popping. Like that is the thing to do here, and I am here for it.
Yeah.
And they are everywhere.
Well, now you're about to see a new one.
Yeah, the culture, I'm down.
The interior design of this brewery is bougie and it's super pretty. And like, I want my whole kitchen to look like this. So,
Ooh.
yeah, it's fancy.
Are you sure we belong there?
I mean, we're going.
I'm down.
Thank you guys for participating. This was Real Estate Confidential. I'm Ashley Raby. These are former clients that I love dearly. And thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, bye.